Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women, Timmy, thanks for coming along to talk F1 again with us. Because there's so much going in Formula One right now. So,
hey, well, good news.
What's the good news? What about it?
Back on the calendar.
What?
For Pirelli tyre testing.
I'm sorry, but we handpicked five specially, selected, crafted F1 news topics, and that wasn't amongst them. So what are you doing?
Spontaneous podcasting.
Well, that's not like
Off
you.
the cuff potting.
That's not like you at all.
The script.
You're very,
potting.
Vanilla with your podcasting.
Exactly. That's what I'd say. That's what this is.
Like your way of starting a podcast episode is, hello, welcome back to Box Banter.
Yeah, well,
I'm Timmy.
I don't have 50
This is
episodes
Raymond.
of practice.
Yeah, well, that's true.
50 episodes of practice gets me this. All right. You ready?
Yep, go for it.
Are you ready? This is me. This is
bring
me.
the energy.
This is me doing you. Do you want to start
hey, you can't do stuff off camera. That doesn't count. Only what's on camera counts, okay?
No, you're doing well. We're still in the intro phase. So. But that was a bit of clickbait.
Nürburgring tyre testing for...
Well, no, just because the category, the title of the article was after 6 years, the Nürburgring makes its way back onto the calendar. So naturally, with this hiatus,
I see what you're saying.
Definitely leaned it towards thinking, we're going to get a race. And like I said to you, like COVID times, you just pluck racetracks from anywhere. So I thought we're in for. But I'm smart enough to not click on the title and give them the click that they so desperately are trying to achieve.
Sure.
So I read the comments. And everyone's like, clickbait, this is just tyre testing. Nonsense.
Meanwhile, I'm clicking on Lewis Hamilton, Kim Kardashian.
Yeah. That got my click.
Spotted at some event. I don't even remember what the event is.
In the car.
I was like, ooh, look at that booty.
Yeah, they got the click. They got the click.
Booty has made its way to Formula One.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've seen some booty in Formula One.
You look at all the girlfriends and they kind of do all fit in the same box, don't they?
No booty?
But they're just very tall, the classic supermodel.
Yeah. So what are you saying? You're a booty guy?
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying
Certainly sounds like you're saying you're a booty guy.
There's a very specific... You look at it doesn't matter whose girlfriend it is. They show such and such's girlfriend and you could pick them out from, the bunch.
Just since we're off the cuff a little bit here, and you're feeling
just for the record,
you're feeling a little bit
always off the cuff.
You're feeling a little bit spicy. Is there anyone on the grid that is a gay Formula One driver? Or have you ever seen a Formula One driver bring his boyfriend to the race? Have we seen that? Is that ground that hasn't been broken yet?
Well, you have to ask Ralph.
Well, but he only came out after his career.
Doesn't matter when he come out. His boyfriend might have been there. It's like you're at a murder scene and the killer's actually in the crowd watching on the murder scene,
hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, but no one actually knows he's the murderer, and that's kind of half the allure. He's like, I did this damage. I'm sitting here and I'm watching the cops investigate it, but I'm right here and they don't know.
Okay,
right?
so hang on.
Classic TV
so
show.
Are you comparing gay men to murderers?
You connecting those dots. I'm just saying, for all we know, Ralph had his boyfriend there, hitting in plain sight.
Well, you would know.
But they never told the TV people, so they never singled him out to go, oh, this is Ralph's boyfriend. Let's put him up on the TV.
You'd know. And you want to know why you'd know?
Tell me.
You can't wait for this, can you?
Oh, I'm itching.
Would know because nobody else in the world goes back and watches races from 2003. So you'd be able to go back and watch and pay a bit more attention and be like...
Well, see, the other problem is it's Ralph Schumacher. So they're also not going to show it. The only family member of Ralph Schumacher's you see is Michael.
Or Mick when he's in the wall.
Yeah. So
that was a good period. I kind of missed that period.
I mean, they don't really show, Lance Stroll's girlfriend on TV. I mean, if you did, you'd see more of Lance Stroll's girlfriend than Lance Stroll.
That's probably because she's not she's probably a little bit embarrassed that she is his girlfriend. Yeah. So she probably has a clause of don't show me. I don't need that public humiliation.
It's true. Yeah. It's a pre-dub.
Would you be flamboyant about being Stroll's girlfriend? Do you think? Would you tell people that? Yeah. I'm not. No, the tree next to you.
Well, it's a bit tough because I'm not in that situation, not even close, for multiple reasons. Mm-hmm. But sure, why not? We'll talk about him later. But he's got some records in the sport. He's a millionaire. Let's not forget, son of one as well.
There's been a lot of sport personalities that have come out as gay, but F1 just hasn't that might be the next big thing for F1. That might be what brings them back into...
If George and Lando can come out during their careers as opposed to afterwards, like Ralph, that may help things come along a little better.
Yeah, you reckon? They're the two guys that we got to look to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just come out, guys. There's no shade.
Well, this episode started in a place that I didn't expect, but
we started talking about the Nürburgring. How we got to Ralph and his boyfriends is beyond me.
I'm impressed.
Yeah,
I am impressed.
It's good stuff.
All right, so
and like I said, we're always off the cuff.
Oh yeah,
but
that would I do believe I said last week that preparation is what makes for a good podcast, but sometimes you just got to test not prepping, and we're
like 60 episodes into the not prepping thing.
Yeah,
and arguable levels of success.
Okay, so the first news story of the week, as I mentioned before, Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Lol, no.
That probably was of the week. That probably was.
Look,
it caught
it
headlines.
Should have been the biggest news story due to the size of her ass, but instead, their parade, their coming out, their huge public outing was rained on by GP. Now, I say GP because his name is
impossible.
Yeah, like there's a number of ways.
Language.
GianPiero Lambiase.
Okay.
GianPiero Lambiase. What was the one that you said before off camera?
Lambiase.
Yeah. What do we want to go with for the episode?
GP.
GP's
like
that's
safe.
That's
safe.
GP sounds like cool as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's
like Giannis. You don't say Antetokounmpo.
Wow, jeez. Look at you. Rip it off like there's nothing.
Yeah.
You just did that just so you could just impress everybody.
Yeah. But if I read it, that's not what it would say. Because that is absolutely not what that's not how it's pronounced.
How's it pronounced?
No, it probably is. But like based on reading.
How is it pronounced?
Well, I need this. It's got every goddamn syllable and...
Oh, so I got you. You only had one in you, huh?
And Tekunumpu.
Got him.
Yeah. I don't think that's right.
All right, so GP officially joins McLaren from 2028.
Yeah.
Do you think that means he's going to take a year of gardening leave, like for 2027? Do you think that he finishes out this year, we don't see him on the grid next year, and
probably not a whole year. I think they might reduce him from I imagine he probably stay on as Max's engineer, but all the other stuff, because he's like head of engineering or something as well, and he's his race engineer. So he might do like 6 more months of that, or 6 months into next year of head of engineering, and then just be dwindled down to just a race engineer. Doesn't control everything, because
and then just dwindled down to like
so
jack
quickly.
Operator,
like
rear jackman.
That's the thing. Like the 6 months of 2027, the last half, if he took what he knew, I mean, it's Red Bull. McLaren are going to be like, no thanks, we don't want that intel anyway. But halfway through, if he leaves...
What are you going to teach us?
Yeah.
We're the world champions here, buddy.
Exactly. Like, they just want his brain going forwards, not his previous brain. But the sport will have changed so much from June 27 to December 27 or January 28. Like, if they cut him off then, the sport will advance in that 6 months' time so much that it doesn't matter. So they wouldn't give him a whole year off.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still got to pay him, and he's still a good race engineer, and obviously Max's race engineer, which is who you really need to focus on. I think he'd be quite upset if they were just like, Did
you ever expect to see this?
Yes and no. I thought...
Yes and no. Okay.
Well,
all right, so
I mean, what's going to surprise me about people leaving Red Bull? Look at Red Bull.
Yeah, I guess
Red
that's
Bull
true.
Is like that sad sitcom that should have shut down well before season 9. When everyone's dropping off, Scrubs, how much? Well, not how much.
Well, sorry, Scrubs had basically a whole recasting. That's what Red Bull are kind of going through.
That's 70 show as well. Like that's what they're doing. It's like, you know what, you peaked, and then now you hang it in there, and you lose all these people, and you're not really the fun anymore. Like you got a couple of the main guys hanging around, but it's really not what it once was.
Yeah, we'll just keep going back and watch season 5.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is now. So like, I'm not surprised. And if it's at the point where if Max leaves, you're like, the writing was on the wall. I mean, who's left there?
Yeah, well, there really isn't anyone, eh?
Yeah,
once the whole team has been cleaned out.
Max, as the driver, is the OG. I mean, the owner, think of everyone who was there since Max, the owner has died. Obviously Christian's gone, the head scout's gone, the head designer's gone. Now his race engineer for his whole Red Bull career is gone or going. it's a bloody cast out. If his dad dies, it'll just be him.
But then you think about all the other names surrounding that, like your Jonathan Wheatley's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
GP now.
And I've seen a few other names that aren't the hotshot names. Like I saw a thing on Facebook of kind of like the list of the outcasts, and there's a lot you're never going to know
who they are, what they do.
Yeah, they're not camera personalities, but it's a heck of a lot.
Yeah, it does make me worry about the future of Red Bull, like whether they will ever return to the powerhouse that they once were, being that they have had such a crumbling. And like, I just wonder who's making all these decisions. Who is it? Who is it behind the scenes that has started this snowball effect to the point that it's a shell of itself now?
You do got to wonder. I mean, I think everyone naturally, because I still fail to grasp that the team is just the energy drink company. Like that still just boggles my mind. Like they don't have a main sponsor, as an example. Like every other team has a main sponsor. They just own the team and they don't even have a main sponsor. You know what I mean? Like there's no risk of like, you're not going to be like, oh, what happens if Red Bull pulls, because Red Bull's not going to pull out because they own the damn team. But then when Mia's shits died, I think
Matisich.
Yeah, that guy, that bloke. I feel like I was definitely one of the people who kind of thought, is Christian Horner like next in line with Red Bull? Because that team is Red Bull's, like the drinks one thing, but that's their figurehead, So the guy who runs the figurehead,
for the culture, and
I was like, is Christian like the boss now of like everything? Like and I don't know who is or what's come through. But to your point, who's calling the shots? But man, they're clearing house.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the state of Red Bull, how popular it is, how much money they still make, and I'm sure it's a lot. Do you drink Red Bull at all?
Yes and no. I do. I'm on sugar-free now, and the sugar-free stuff's not that great.
Yeah, that's right. You are looking a little skinny. Like, how many are you drinking? What's your, like, is it like one a month? Is it like one a week? Is it one
like
a day?
Red Bulls?
Yeah.
Probably hit 2 a week, I reckon. You shop around.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, that's a low end.
I just wonder, like, is energy drinks or Red Bull, have they kind of hit their peak as well, and they're kind of now like trending out as things do?
Yeah, it's funny.
I drink Celsius myself. Are we going to see a Team Celsius?
You never know, right? It's funny. I did actually watch a Red Bull, like a video on Red Bull recently.
Oh, so you were preparing.
It's actually funny, yeah. And they literally have 6 products or something like that. Like they have 4 or 5 different flavors in the little cans, and then they have the main flavor.
Yep.
Like that's their range. That's all they do. That's all they do.
Yeah.
Sell those 6 drinks, and it funds everything they do.
They kind of go against all of the business.
Yeah.
And
they sponsor
where they say you should diversify, spread your risk. They're like, no, we do one thing.
Yeah. You look at like Coke. They got Coca-Cola, and then they got even 4 different versions of Coca-Cola. And then they got Sprite, and they got all these other. They got 100 things going on, different sizes, all the rest of it. And then there's just Red Bull. And then not only do they own 2 Formula One teams, which is huge, but then they also sponsor the most expensive versions of every other form of they find
sport.
the best racing drivers and they pay them handsomely.
Yeah.
They find the best teams in other racing categories and just sponsor them. They're not even like just put their name out there. They're like the best of the best in everything they do. And the amount of money it costs them to do that, it'd
have to. I mean, remember when they had that dude who jumped out of the
space?
Space. Yeah. Like, how's that making you money?
Exactly.
Maybe off ad revenue off the YouTube clip, but
and
I'm sure that's not going to cover the cost of
these
it.
days. They'd be covering all that. It wouldn't be. I don't imagine it's. And even still, that to me didn't make me want to go buy Red Bull. Watching someone jump out of space, I didn't go, well, you know what? I need a Red Bull. Yeah, exactly.
I think GP. Like, I didn't realize how many teams he had been with already.
Yeah, I saw the thing. He was Force India before.
Yeah, so he's been around for quite some time. So I guess it's not like he's been, in the Red Bull system from day one and he's spent his whole career there and then oh shit, never just saw him leave.
Yeah.
He kind of, I guess, has always looked for opportunities and taken them where they came. And
he racked up his 10 years, I guess. Time to take some leave.
Yeah, well, right now, McLaren certainly look like one of the teams that are more on the up. Yeah. They just won a world championship.
Argue at the top, you can't go much higher.
Yeah, they got Oscar Piastri, the best driver in the world right now.
Yep.
So why wouldn't you look for that opportunity in McLaren? So I think if you're going to move anywhere, that's the team you want to move to, right? Like,
I mean, that's the thing. What are McLaren looking for? Is probably the bigger question.
That is true. I mean, he's been named as something underneath Andrea Stella, chief of racing or some bullshit.
But surely that means someone's being moved out or has been moved out. Someone, and again, not everyone in the sport has a face.
No.
But Red Bull, for whatever reason, have
I'm sure that they
more
didn't
faces
just
than anybody.
create this nothing position and went, here you go, here's 10
So
million.
whoever's under Andrea probably just didn't have a face for TV and name we get to know.
You'd have to then look at it from GP's point of view. This is a promotion because, like, whatever his role is in Red Bull, this looks like he's going to have more authority.
Yeah, well, it's never good if you're a race engineer. Like, you're not, even if he's head of engineering, like, you're also still, like, the race engineers are not anywhere near the top of the barrel.
Yeah, so it could just be career progression for him. But, there's rumours floating around about Andrea Stella potentially going to Ferrari. So, that could just be speculation. Someone's just pulled that out of their ass. There's been nothing official.
They're probably like, who's moving out of McLaren, naturally? If you got a big figure like him moving into McLaren, who's moving out? You can't just hire every great engineer.
That's right. So is this potentially, can we prepare ourselves for that announcement of Andrea Stella, Ferrari 2028, and then naturally GP just slots straight into Andrea Stella's position? But right now, from your perspective, who would you rather work for, McLaren or Ferrari?
That's tough. I mean, Ferrari have come out of the gate. Have started all 3 races with both cars and scored in all those
solid
races.
Second.
Yeah. I don't know. McLaren, like, both teams have a lot of pedigree. Like, you'd say Ferrari's the team you want to work for at any point in time.
I think GP is a good pickup for McLaren.
Yeah.
I think, like, he's worked very closely with, again, arguably one of the, if not the greatest driver in Formula One.
Oh, yeah.
He can bring a lot of knowledge and experience to McLaren drivers and their personnel and just keep inflicting that winning culture within the team. I think he's a good pickup. But I think if McLaren do lose Andrea Stella, I think me as a fan, I'd be kind of disappointed in that. He's one of the only reasons I can still tolerate McLaren, especially with that big buffhead running the show. But I also think that just the way that he seems to approach the culture in McLaren is kind of like the glue that holds everything together. So I can't help but feel that if McLaren lose him, that is a big L.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Do you think I'm kind of giving him too much credit? Maybe.
Probably. I mean, who knows? It takes more than just one bloke to make all this shit go round.
Sure.
But so it's hard to see who you're targeting.
But someone always has to be in charge, calling the shots, making the final decisions.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I agree with you. I liked his interviews until things were getting hairy last year. And I think he had the same puppet up his ass that, the rest of them did. And being Zach. I don't see really what GP is looking for. Like, it is it is almost like a sideways move. You've gone from...
So you don't see it as a promotion, you see it more as a sidestep.
Yeah.
Maybe
like
he's not going trying to get off a sinking ship.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe it's like, again, all your friends have left. Everyone you've known for the last 10 years has left. Maybe he's like, it's all speculation, but maybe they know a lot more about Max's future. Maybe he's like, well, if Max is gone, I kind of want to be gone. So he's like, well, I'll get out first. Who knows? Maybe they're a part and parcel together. Max might be looking at that McLaren.
Well, I'm glad you brought him up because he's second on our, specially selected handcrafted news items for the week.
20 minutes for a natural link to come up.
Well, I was enjoying where the conversation was going.
Okay. I like a natural segue.
Yeah. So, I love talking about Max. We talk about him every week. There's always just so many eyes, so many headlines on Max. Everyone's just Max, this and that. So let's talk about Max.
We're not immune.
I look at this as he is either way he leaves Red Bull. So I think then it's either does he go to McLaren or Mercedes, and we know that Toto's always had a hard on for him, or does he leave F1? Would you agree?
I think I think so. Yeah.
Which do you think he's leaning more towards? Leaving F1 looking to do something different, or he's probably already made it at least somewhat known to GP that he wants out of the team, out of the organisation, and he's going to look for the next best opportunity, probably through one of those teams.
Well, I think everything and everybody, including Max, is in a bit of a holding pattern. They're already talking about potential big changes coming up after this 4-week break in the sport. And I don't know if this was just pure rumors, but I think you mentioned a couple of weeks ago something about they may already be considering
The return of V8s.
yeah, like very short period of time.
I'm seeing a lot come through about it.
Yeah, and again, from what we know,
Time frame not so much. I've seen things as early as 2031. I've seen things as early as like the next 2 years. So.
Yeah. And as much as we see them as rumors, they start somewhere. And people in the paddock would have a lot more idea of what is actual potential. I mean, I think someone said that Red Bull have actually been actively testing an actually aspirated engine. So if that's the case, then that's promising. And the last thing Max wants to do is have a dummy spit, go, nah, this is all shit. I hate this so much. I'm leaving. And although he'd always be welcome back, like you just don't know what you lose. If you leave the sport for 2 years, 3 years, and then all of a sudden it goes, oh, it's looking pretty good over there again. You come back, and then you're out of the sport for 2-3 years. People like Oscar, all the rookies last year that are really good, they've stepped up, and then you may not be able to find the best gig. You may not be able to gel straight away. So I think he's just in a holding pattern. If they come out, if they change the cars significantly, which who knows, over the next month, and then the racing's better, then he may feel better about the category. I still think he'd probably leave Red Bull. You know, it's kind of that time. He's been there for 10 years. He's kind of done all he can do.
Yeah.
You know, do you wait and continue to build something there, or do you do what Hamilton and Schumacher have done and try to make success elsewhere?
Yeah.
And do it with another team and have success that way. And if that's the case, then again, you have options. Both teams would take him.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So if we, I like playing hypotheticals. So if he goes to Mercedes, it's no secret George is probably out. And the form that we've seen with Kimi, he's clearly the future. It seems like Mercedes have, built this kid from a lab. He was born and bred to race Mercs, and at a very young age, he's already finding a lot of success. Maybe there's an air of luck of the state of the car and the regulations that are aiding that. But either way, he's better than a lot of drivers on that grid right now, as it stands. Yeah. So he takes George's position at Mercedes. If he goes to McLaren, whose seat does he take?
Yeah, that's a little bit harder to assess. But and again, we've only had 3 races this year, but with all the bullshit nonsense, we owe Orlando a championship, Pie rules, fucking blah, 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 behind him, it seems like Oscar is, well, so far this year, he has been the better driver when he's been allowed to be on track. So I think that bodes well for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just a lot that goes into it. Each driver would be bringing something to the team, money-wise. They're not paid drivers by any means, but they are attractive to certain sponsors. Like all that stuff goes into it. So you do got to.
It feels like there could potentially be a big shake-up here because
I think the answer would be Norris would go, but I think he may be. I hate to say this, but more attractive to other teams just because he's a POM as well. I feel like a lot of teams would be like...
So I disagree on you with that. So I see it like if McLaren were to back Norris because they just always have, and we saw that last year, and basically sacrifice Piastri, or if at least Piastri gets some wind of it, you've got Verstappen out of a Red Bull. That opens up a seat right there. You don't know who'll take that seat. Remember last year there were like a few rumors around him being connected to Ferrari and him being connected to Red Bull already. It doesn't seem like if I saw Piastri in a Red Bull, it wouldn't be the most shocking thing to me. If I saw him in a Ferrari, it wouldn't be the most shocking thing to me. I think that, if Lewis retires from Ferrari and that seat opens up and all of a sudden, Ferrari are looking at, all right, do we look at Ollie Behrman or do we look at Oscar Piastri? He's expressed some interest here, and Oscar makes that move. I almost wouldn't blame him because I don't think the team has necessarily been super loyal to him.
Yeah,
and maybe right now it is still his best drive. But if Ferrari have quietly putting together a pretty strong team here, and they're getting in the right sort of personnel, and you've got him paired up with Charles Leclerc, and maybe even after having 4 or 5 years of F1 experience, he looks like, okay, he's now going to enter his prime. If we can give him the car, he could be Ferrari's next world champion.
Yeah.
I see that as more of an attractive driver pickup for a team than Norris.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing. He's also got 8 on his side. Like you said, if we're talking 3 years, Oscar's only got 5 to 6 years on his belt as opposed to 11, 12 years that Norris would have. And yeah, starting to get over the other edge of that prime.
It does feel like something big could happen over this sort of 2-year period.
Oh, 100%.
There's going to be a lot of
honestly,
shifts.
Hamilton holds more cards than you think because he retires. Charles is, again, he's going to be that 10-year driver. He's going to be like, who do they bring in? I think he's safe if they bring in Behrman. That'll take a couple of years to develop. But if they go, all right, Oscar, Charles is going to be happy with that. That's a driver ready to go, hungry, who has proven he can contend. And Charles might be like...
We were talking last week about how he's been with that team for so long. At what point do one of them break? At what point do the team go, look, this isn't working, maybe you should look for other opportunities? Or does he go like, I'm losing my goddamn marbles here. I need to get out. So then even something like with if Verstappen leaves the sport or changes team, does he pick up a Red Bull seat? In the past, it might have been like, there's no goddamn way. But that Red Bull driver program is looking a little lean at the moment.
But that's the thing as well. They don't need to rely on that right now. No. If Max leaves, they've finally gotten something good from it in the other seat. They can now go back to when they hired like Perez, hire. I
was going to say, but they've done that with Perez, so this would be very similar. A driver who's won some Grand Prix, has a little bit of experience. He's been in the sport for a long time. Yeah. All right, let's bring you over, and
exactly right.
We'll utilize
it. It wouldn't make sense to bring up a Lawson, or you don't know what Lindblad's going to be like at that point. Maybe really good, but then again, you don't need two young guns like that in that team. So again, you might look towards your 10, 12-year vet who will just be a shoe-in and be good to go. Yeah. You'd think, as long as Hadjar's still there.
Driver shakeups is one of my favorite things in the sport. It's always interesting to think about, we had the news of Lewis leaving Mercedes to go to Ferrari, and we got to spend a whole year of what is that going to look like? Lewis in red in a Ferrari. Can he get his 8th world championship? It's been a little sad and miserable, but I do love the hypotheticals. And then when you get that news and you think, oh, wow, what is that going to be like? It's exciting stuff. I think it's one of the best parts of Formula One, and seems like there's going to be some big moves. So
it is funny how that sort of thing works.
But don't forget, real quick as well, you still got Aston Martin, who have basically a dude who's, two steps away from the grave at this point, who's still... What did we say? Turn up putting in circles? What did we say he was doing at Japan? Because he wasn't racing. He was... Time trials, whatever it was. He's surely this is his last year.
Oh, you're talking about Fernando.
I'm talking about Fernando.
I thought you were talking about Adrian Newey.
No,
it's a bit rough.
We talked about him because he missed all the practices for Japan. And then he turned up to circulate, I think he said.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because his kid. That's right. Yep, he had a kid.
I forget your memory's about the size of a goldfish. But so don't forget there's that seat as well. And if Aston Martin can get their shit together, again, if they do have Jonathan Wheatley and they've got Adrian Newey and they've got the Stroll money, all of a sudden that's looking like any driver would want to take that seat for sure. So
yeah, Aston Martin are hurting me. It's been years where you're just like, what do they need? They got money, they're getting people, drivers or driver.
This is the year. Then this isn't the year. This year's a write-off. Next year's the year.
Well, next year's probably not the year, but that's the stepping stone to the year. Yeah. Then that's what I mean. They had that one season where Fernando was just racking up podiums, and you're like, oh, this is cool. This is good to see. That was wasn't even a full year. I think it was half a year.
Half a year, and then the drop-off hit.
Yeah, and then it's just again every year. It's like, oh well, we're reshaping, retooling for next year, and
so I know you love a segue. So speaking of old drivers, Danny Rick had his first interview, specifically, I guess, around his career, reflecting on Formula One. Yeah. I haven't watched it.
No.
Have you watched it?
No, I haven't watched it. No, I've seen drips and drabs.
Yeah, I've only seen the sort of headlines and things come out about
I don't know if I could watch it. It might make me cry.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you are a little bit of a bitch.
He may be okay with it. I'm not okay with it.
Yeah. So out of the things that have sort of come out, I guess the big one that we've sort of seen is he mentioned that he's glad he got fired because he doesn't think he would have been able to retire himself. Thoughts, feelings, emotions on that one?
Well, like I just said, I'm not over it. I still think, it's as much as he doesn't want to admit it, I don't want to admit it either, that he clearly lost something.
He lost something.
He lost something.
He lost it. He tried to come back and convince everyone that he had found it again, but he only continued to lose it some more.
Yeah. And it's sad, man. I mean, I remember talking to people and be like, and they'd say, like, oh, he's not the same. And I'm like, it's not him. Like, it's the car or whatever. But then you go, yeah, it probably was him. I mean,
after 2 years of saying that, you go, didn't look great.
Yeah. And then it always just seemed like he'd have I mean, I remember Suzuka in that last year, he was in the Racing Bull. It was like I think he finally had a decent quality, finally made it to Q3, gets taken out in turn 2. And you're just like, that's not what he needs.
That is his career in a nutshell.
Yeah, like he needs momentum. He needs a couple of races on the board at the time. Like, and that's why it was so hard. And then he breaks his wrist. Like, he talked about that in there as well. It's like, you start to feel like, all right, you're getting some things together, and you have a dumb accident, break your wrist, and you lose 6 more races. And it's just like, God. It's like you said, you start to think of it as, is that a bit of a sign to hang it up? But of course you can't. He was 34 or something.
No, he still had a
You
good
got Fernando 10 years his elder, still going. And, because I guess he feels he still has it, which he does. And people are still happy to employ him. And obviously Ricciardo, not only did he maybe lose it, he didn't cut a confident figure.
No.
You saw him in the media. You saw him. He might have been able to put the smile on.
There's never positivity.
Yeah, it was always like, he knew something was missing, and that was the way he didn't blame anything at all. He never said it was the car of the team. He knew and that was a good thing. But it was never like, yeah, it's all good, I'll get it back. It was always like he's looking for something. He thinks he knows what he needs. It was just something was always just missing.
When I think about Mark Webber's career, I think it's been defined by a fumble. So I look at his career, and I think it was the championship that wasn't. He just fumbled it at the end there, and then lost it, and then there goes his opportunity. It's probably a 60-40 split between that and basically Verstappen coming in and just putting his big boy pants on and taking over that team, and maybe Mark not knowing how to handle that at the time.
Ricciardo,
Mark, I'm talking about Mark and Vettel. So Vettel,
okay.
Vettel.
You're talking for Verstappen. Yep.
Sorry. Too many V names.
Too many V's in the Red Bull.
Too many. Yeah. Sorry, Vettel coming in and then him sort of having to deal with that and we know about like things like the famous multi 21 and all this sort of stuff. So it's sort of just defined by being at the sorry end of team orders and then fumbling a world championship that he was in control of, at least for a bit. Then you look at Ricciardo's career, and I think now it's been defined by bad luck and just a downtrodden demeanor. Yeah. It was a pretty long, basically from the moment he left Red Bull, and he didn't leave under great circumstances.
When he left Renault,
I don't know. You think about how the Renault, his first race. You think about how his career started.
Yeah.
Bang, bad luck, bad move.
True.
And then having to make, a pretty embarrassing media appearance and sort of trying to explain that one. And
that's enough. That's enough from you. I think.
Hang on. You could be here saying shit about Piastri week on week and me having to pull you in line when it's not true.
It's relative.
But it's sort of now I look at his career and I don't necessarily look at it for its few highs, but I kind of go, oh, geez, it got a bit sad and miserable at the end there. I'm kind of glad it did have the plug pulled at the end, even if it was in, not the nicest.
Yeah, it was inhumane.
Even if it was in humane circumstances.
I think
hang on, just real quick. And then with Piastri, I just hope it doesn't follow this same trend. We've mentioned a few times about last year was a golden opportunity to snag a world championship, and he didn't get it. And you can blame any number of things, but let's hopefully this doesn't define his career. And I find it very interesting. He did comment a little bit more about the Mark Webber situation and basically just said he's still a part of the team, but I just don't need him as much because I now know what to look for and how to handle certain things that he was in place to do.
Well, he did a shit job because that to me definitely sounds like what we all suspected, which was don't let your teammate and your team walk all over you.
Yeah. So,
and what happened?
And that's what I'm saying. I'm wondering if that's him just trying to distance himself from the yuckiness. I don't need that.
And that's what last year was. It was a lot of ick that he managed to just talk his way to peace with.
Yeah, and I think as well, like if you want to turn up to each race weekend in a positive mind frame. You want to turn up ready to do battle. I'm here to win. You don't want to turn up making excuses, trying to get answers, talking through people and, reading between the lines. So maybe by him being in control of the narrative, he can then control the narrative. He can make sure that his intentions are black and white and they're being met and that there's no confusion and there's no middlemen around it.
Okay. We're supposed to be talking about Ricciardo.
No,
okay.
I know.
All right. So just calm yourself down.
Oh, I just missed Piastri.
I think about...
it was his birthday the other day.
I think about Mark Webber's career. And I think that the thing about Mark Webber is not one thing ever came easy.
No.
Once he had good equipment, he was never the best driver in the team. That's why every win felt so good. It was like sticking it to Vettel. You never expected him to win a race. You never watched a race and went, it's his to win, because they were so few and far between.
Yeah.
Sometimes things had to happen, or sometimes he was just on one.
Yeah.
But the threat was always there from Vettel, and Multi 21 is a good example of that. That even when the threat was meant to be ceased, it was not. And I think that was the thing about Oscar, and I said this last year 100 times. It was so good turn qualifying on and going every single race, he's a shot for quali. And I'm confident in that. I'm confident I can watch him put a lap together that'll get him on pole.
As opposed to Daniel Rick, where it was like, hopefully he can make it into the top 10.
He never once had the best car.
No,
that was the thing.
And that goes along with his bad luck.
Yeah.
Red Bull is this powerhouse of a team.
Yeah.
He gets the drive. Now they do.
Exactly. Mark Webber had obviously the keys to the best car, but he had a teammate that was faster, younger than him, hungrier than him. And he had that one opportunity in 2010 when Vettel was still coming up and learning and young in a bad way. And it, like you said, fumbled. Sure. Fumbled it. And that was his opportunity gone, because then all of a sudden Vettel's got the keys. He knows what to do now. And then Ricciardo, it was kind of like you knew if he could get a sniff, he had the ability. He was the best driver in the team for a long time. And he showed plenty of times he could take it to almost anyone on the grid at any time. But the car was never quite there.
Yeah.
And you see compilations of Ricciardo racing in his Red Bull, and you're like, oh, man, he was special. The triple pass in...
I definitely agree with all that. But I then question what was said to him to make him see a better potential opportunity in Renault.
He might, I mean, the thing is, at that time as well, Red Bull weren't the best team. Mercedes were the best team. So was it a case of, man, I am fighting tooth and nail with this fella, and he could see the writing on the wall, but you're not even contending for a championship. So it might have just been a case of, like, maybe he just wasn't up for it. Like, you get the occasional race win, but you've also got to fight this guy, and you can see the team's not with you. Whereas if you go to Renault or another team, at least you get away from the Verstappen battle, and in his eyes, you're still hoping the team you go to is going to be competitive. You still hope, okay, I'll be able to fight for race wins every now and then, but you just get away from what was probably going to turn a bit yucky for him. So that's the only thing I can think of. And then, I mean, Oscar's a whole different kettle of fish. Like, you do feel like he is the next world champion. You do feel like he has what it takes. He's like a mix of both. Like, he doesn't have that. I don't think he's got that ultra aggression that Ricciardo had, the last of the late breaker, all that stuff.
He's
like, he's shown
remember?
flashes of it. Miami last year, passing Hamilton the way he did. Like, I think he can get down in the dirt if he has to. But yeah, I think methodical's right. I think if you found he could get to the last race and he'd know last 2 or 3 races what he needs to do to get that done, that's what he'll do.
He kind of has maybe a little bit of a Lewis Hamilton approach, where he's like clean and precise, but then only when he's pushed does he like take the risk and has the cojones to probably pull it off. Yeah. Except he has far less bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So just want to make that clear.
Yeah, very clear. Loud and clear.
All right, well, that was fun to talk about Danny Rick, and
honestly,
we got Piastri in there too. This is why we do the pod the way we do. We have some things here, and then let's just go on a tangent. Let's see where it takes us,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I haven't watched that video because I just think it will make me sad because...
Yeah.
I mean, I started watching the sport when Webber was in it.
I've got a Ricciardo shirt. I do miss the guy. I do miss those long nights of staying up watching him racing and just hoping to see some of that Ricciardo magic. You know, it is an era of F1 I do long for.
I mean,
I
that's
yearn for.
It doesn't matter who you talk to. Like the whole smile thing, like, you know, whatever. But that's what Oscar's missing. And that's what I struggled with to begin with, is that his first win, he gets out of the car and it's like, yeah, it was a bit soiled, but there's not a whole lot of emotion, which I've come to like because I'm the same way.
I was going to say, they're two opposite sides of the Australian coin.
Yeah.
You got Daniel Ricciardo, who's the larrikin class clown, asks you if you have hairs on your balls yet, you know, like always cracking a joke, making light of the situation, you know, and maybe not taking things as seriously as what he should.
Exactly, yeah.
And then you got Oscar, who's the very down to earth, doesn't show much emotion.
Yeah, nothing phases him.
Nothing phases him. He's just cruising along.
Yeah.
You know, I relate to that side probably more than the Daniel Ricciardo side.
Yeah,
I think we come from a family and a place that we're very much like that. And we sort of conduct ourselves in that same sort of way.
But
we're not the loud, you know, center of attention.
You're not a hooligan.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You can appreciate that. You can appreciate that. Like, you could look at him on the podium, looking out at a sea, a sea of people, and he's just got the biggest grin. And you're just like, again.
Yeah. Can you imagine Piastri saying, what was it, like kiki?
Yeah. You know, and even the way, you know, the Pierre Gasly, like, you're not going to see that kind of character. I mean, we saw him do that dance last year, and that was a little bit awkward.
Oh, it's super cringe, and like we all had secondhand embarrassment, and we're all like, we are Piastri, where we're like, we hope to God this looks cool, and it fucking doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you
he
just
did
go,
it for a second or two, and he goes, "Oh well, that was a mistake." Yeah. You know, that's the thing you miss. And again, you see the compilations of Daniel Ricciardo, and you're just like, damn, man. Like, and that's the sad figure that changed. Once halfway through his McLaren career, and then through, you know, all of the RB stuff. And it's just like, tough.
So,
and I don't want to hear him talking down about himself.
No.
So no, I won't be watching the interview.
No. So let's, before we wrap it up, do you have anything else you want to bring to the news table?
Yeah, so I got the fifth and final bit of news.
Okay. Hit me.
So I'm surprised that you actually didn't know this or have this yourself, because I know you're such a GT3 fan.
I'm not.
Big time GT3.
I'm not a GT3 fan.
Yeah, you watch the Nürburgring race, you do everything.
I watched Verstappen.
Oh, okay.
I watched the Verstappen feed and I didn't watch anything else.
Well, so, and I know how much you also love this particular track. GT3s were at Paul Ricard doing an endurance event.
God.
Yesterday, I believe.
God. Even worse.
Yeah.
Like, make the pain just, you know, make the drivers suffer for even longer. Yeah.
And I believe if Max wasn't racing, his team was there. Like, he was there. I don't know if he was racing or not, though. But his team was there. Anyway, so Stroll was in the field. It's just, I saw this and it just made me laugh. Do you want to take a guess at how long his penalties were? Like, so you got a couple of penalties, and what
the collective total was for all the penalties? Yeah. All right. 80 seconds.
Wrong.
Okay. Higher or lower?
Double. More than double.
200 seconds?
No, 175 seconds of penalties for Lance Stroll.
Jeez. What was he doing?
Ignoring blue flags. So he got 60 seconds for ignoring blue flags. Of course,
which is hilarious, because if anyone should know what a blue flag is, it should be fucking Lance Stroll.
And then not only was he slow and getting blue flags, he was also exceeding track limits and got 115 seconds.
So he's cheating too.
Time penalty. Yeah. And that would, exceeding track limits would normally make you go a little bit quicker.
Unsportsmanlike and cheating.
Yeah. And then he finished, I believe it was second last. He finished 48th overall out of 49 cars.
Okay. So his girlfriend is well within her right to hide her identity.
Sorry, that was 3 penalties. The 60 seconds for blue flags, actually 2 separate blue flag infringements.
Did you hear what I said there?
Yeah.
See how I brought it back to the girlfriend
back to the start.
Yeah. Embarrassed about being his girlfriend. I kind of like that he did that, just in the sense of showing that, like, you know, Verstappen wasn't this, like,
racing a bunch of you're a Formula 1
Sunday granddads who have a bit of money to, you know, it was like he actually did have to work for it. And
I think it also shows
some good drivers.
You're not, like, you'd probably just assume a Formula 1 driver could go race in any category and be good, so you shouldn't be shocked at what Max did. And that's, I think, what it shows. Is that...
So, let's flip it then. Do you reckon whoever's leading that championship or won that race, do you reckon they could step into an F1 car and outperform Lance Stroll?
I mean, that's a bit of a dumb thing to say because,
Well, why is it dumb?
well, because Lance, and again, Max is one of one. So forget about Max before I say
That's why I
this.
didn't say and beat Max Verstappen.
That for a second.
I already
Lance
had-
is
I didn't bring
jumping
it up.
into a car that he doesn't race all the time. So it depends. Are you saying can someone jump into a Formula One car and beat Lance straight away?
No, I'm saying can
Well, that's
the
the
person
thing. So
winning...
maybe you need to give Lance a couple more races in a GT3 car.
No. I'm saying can the GT3 leading driver right now step into Lance's car and outperform Lance and not come
Like,
second last?
straight away.
Yes.
Probably not. Definitely not.
I reckon he could.
I think Formula One cars, even now, especially now,
No,
you just-
Alonso came out and he said anyone can drive these cars. Anyone. It does
don't
not take
think so.
skill or talent. He did. That's your
You
boy.
still need to
Those words
control
came from
the
your
battery.
boy. Are you going to go against what your boy said?
I'm just saying.
You need to control the
just
battery.
look at the steering wheel.
You look at the charge bar and go, engage.
It's like playing a PlayStation. Isn't it? Look at the steering wheel
Yes,
and
that's
tell
what they're
me.
saying. They literally
That's-
compared it to Mario Kart.
Yeah, drivers who have experience with at least playing with 100 knobs in a lap initially.
A la you. I know how you love to play with knobs. So, I have 3 gold stars on all Mario Kart tracks right now. I am qualified for Formula One.
You know what? I just don't believe you. Is that in hard mode, easy mode, medium?
200cc.
Is that like the
That's
kid thing?
hardest. You need to play
that
some more
like the
Mario Kart.
kids?
So you're playing the wrong kind of racing simulator.
Yeah, well, clearly. I don't know. I think, like I said, I just think the best thing is that and Max doesn't need any proof of what he's capable of.
No.
But the fact that he's able to get in a GT3 car at the hardest track in the world, especially to just know what next
It's
corner's
damn
coming
impressive.
up, and be able to just lap 5-10 seconds quicker than the next car. And then, I already mentioned they race at Paul Ricard this week. A track that Lance knows just fine. Done plenty of racing there.
True.
So
That's true.
again,
Good point.
how many things could be in the bloke's favour? You're jumping in an Aston Martin, which, whatever, it's GT3 car, it's completely different. But you're jumping in a GT3 car that should be a lot easier to just drive in general than your Formula One car on a track you know very well. And to just shit the bed at an almighty level.
I just love that out of every driver to be like, oh, Max can win GT3 races. That's easy as an F1 driver. I'll go to GT3. And do you like my Lance voice? That was pretty good.
It actually was pretty good. Very nasally. He's a bit of a brat.
Yeah. I
Brat's
love that.
nasally.
Then, he, like you said, he shits the bed completely and then comes away with his tail between his legs. So,
I mean, second last.
Yeah, I remember saying at Japan, he had quite a bit of like an air of positivity about him for the first time in about 3 years. Now that's been stomped out. I'm sure when we get to Miami, everyone's going to be like, so Lance, what happened to Paul Ricard there? Hey,
I mean, could you also imagine watching that race?
Best you could do.
Could you imagine watching that race? I tried to watch it a little bit. I turned on KO, it was on KO, and I was about to watch the one of the NASCAR races yesterday, and I clicked onto it, and I was just hadn't started yet the NASCAR racing, and I saw endurance racing at France, whatever. I clicked on it, and it was the podium. I was like, okay, oh well, whatever.
That's a shame.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, could you actually imagine watching an endurance race on that track? On an airport, a painted airport, is effectively what it is.
Yeah.
Rough.
Someone asked me the other day what was wrong with that track. And I was like, well, buddy, how much time you got?
Well, you just got to say, tell me what, in your eyes, what would negate a good track? Tell me what you think is a good track, like features-wise.
Yep. And then it has
undulation, gravel traps.
Yeah. Well,
it doesn't have any of that.
I think that tracks, no matter what, should always punish the driver for making a mistake, whether that's through a gravel trap, whether that's through a wall, whatever. This has zero risk. You can make every mistake under the book, and Lance clearly did, and you can still finish the race with all 4 wheels.
Like, no wonder he exceeded track limits, because if he couldn't exceed track limits, he would have been clearly in the bin very quickly.
Yeah.
Because that would have been very naturally causing... if you go off track, you have a natural result if there's grass or,
gravel. Yeah.
Wall. Something. Yeah, exactly. Wall would be good.
Yep, all of the above.
Yeah.
All right. Well, somehow we managed to stretch this out to basically just over a 50-minute pod. So bravo to us. Bravo to us.
Another one checked off. I think we have 2 more of these.
Yep.
2 more somethings to
do. I don't blame people for not seeking F1 content right now because there ain't much going on. But we do our best for you to make F1 as entertaining as possible in between these races.
You think I'd be used to this? V8's just had a month off.
Mm.
Do you think I'd be used to this hiatus? But it's just not right for Formula One.
No. I mean, it's a little bit different for Formula One, though, because it's a worldwide sport. They travel globally. This is supposed to be, again, the pinnacle. It's such a shame that, not only we're going to have a month off here, we're going to have another month off in the mid-year, and then,
I know.
of
I
course,
wish they'd just
the
change
3-month
that.
break at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And
I wish they'd just compress that. Go like, okay, you know what? For the fans. This is the winter break. We just don't call it the winter break.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And just throw something in that gap.
The sport's in crisis, and then there's no motorsport to watch and talk about, and then this is opening the door for people to look what else is on, what else is going on. We're about to enter the NBA finals. If you're in Australia, the football's, we're coming up to state origin. The football is starting to really, you're starting to work out who's good and who's not. All of a sudden, you just fall out of interest. So
but that is the danger. I mean, this is the sort of stuff that got me hooked onto NASCAR last year. When you kind of go, we were doing the pod obviously, but you go, God, the racing is a tough old watch, And then Supercars has the issue of having a fucking month off every other week. And then you go, what is that there? KO, bang, NASCAR.
I spent a Saturday night watching darts.
Yeah, see,
and I was like, wow,
beyond.
These guys are weapons.
Yeah, I mean, I watch pool.
Peak athletes too. They're about 4 times the size of me. They've got the craziest beards you've ever seen. They
got a beer in one hand to counterweight the dart.
I'm pretty sure I saw one of those red buzzers go off from the athlete. He was about to throw the dart. The buzzer went off, and then he was
chicken wings are done.
He's like, wait, hang on, I gotta get my chips.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a great Saturday night.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's just good sport. Yeah. That's all you need.
Yeah. By the way, ping pong table is looking a little sad, so we should wrap this up and go keep it some company.
Ping pong sesh.
So
I hope you're not teasing me.
I'm teasing you. I want you to get the hell out of my house because
it's pretty early.
Yeah,
it's an early knock.
Oh, it's great. If you expected us to do a conspiracy theories episode, sorry to let you down.
Gotcha.
Yeah, psych. Probably next week. We thought we'll break up the episodes, get a little F1. A month is a long time to talk about shit. We're making it work. We're just making it work. So appreciate our dedication. Don't complain. And come back next week for that one. Yeah, as long as you prep.
Did you prep? You were the one who called it.
I had a few things noted down. So.
All right.
So next week will be the conspiracy theories episode. So look out for that one.
And if it's not, it might be the next week.
He didn't prep.
I can pull shit out of my ass within minutes of the pod.
That's true. Yeah, you were just Oh, although even with your Lounce thing, I saw you had to.
What three? I just screenshotted.
What was I talking about with Lounce again?
I screenshotted 3 separate things to do with all the info, and I'm like, what it actually is what I wanted to talk about because you had co-drivers who also had some issues, but we're bashing Lounce right now.
Yeah. Anyway, we appreciate you hanging out. Nonetheless, we love it. We know you love it. So like, subscribe, follow, comment.
Share.
Yep, share. Screenshot. Screen record. Clip shorts. Spread them around. Group share. And we'll see you back here next week. All right, Timmy.
See you then.
GGs. Goodbye.